So yes, indeed, Live Letter 68 has been announced. I'll put a link in the chat to this post right here. Announcing it. Yes, just so, Xenos, correct. The live letter is going to be on Saturday, and that's February 19th. That's not this Saturday or the next Saturday, but the Saturday after that at 2 a.m. GMT. So for me, it's going to be at 4 in the morning yet again. Yeah. But this one seems like a really big deal. This seems like one where I actually need to be up at 4 in the morning to stream it. I'll also find the link for the NA. Well, for NA, it is going to be 9 p.m. EST. And this is about the next 10 years of FFXIV. I'm going to be wide awake at 4 a.m. to hear about the next 10 years of FFXIV. This is a dedicated live letter just for this discussion. Yeah. So, who knows? It says newfound futures. The next 10 years of FFXIV. I'm really stuck on this idea that there's going to be a time skip of some kind. The live letter is going to go for 10 years. Yeah. Well, it might, because there's going to be live interpretation from Japanese into English. And this usually does make the live letter go for 10 years. It takes so long. Because everything they say, they have to wait for it to be translated. I mean, it's great. It's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm really glad that we have the live translation so everybody can understand. But compared to the way they did it before, it takes like double the time. Yeah. So, the other thing that they posted related to this was on the official forums. This is related to the Live Letter 68 on February 19th. So, I'll put the link to this in the chat as well. Okay, so they are asking for people who have played Endwalker or are playing Endwalker to post any questions that you might have about Endwalker that they can then show Yoshi P, I assume. And so there's a whole lot of questions here. I actually went through before the stream started and I highlighted a few of the questions that I thought were interesting. And I thought it would be fun if we could kind of talk about questions that we might have. Maybe can brainstorm a little bit for questions you might want to post here. Again, I'll put the link in the chat. You're banned from the forums. Oh no, what did you do? Actually, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Yeah, so I wanted to go through this really quick. Am I doing the translations? Oh, no. Why they fixed the grapes? Okay, I'll write that down with my questions. My first question would be, obviously, besides why did you fix the grapes, would be, will the nature of the echo be explained? Because it seems like the echo is still working great. After all the events of Endwalker, like we're continuing to use it in the new content. And so I think I'd like to know more about that. I'd like to know more about the nature of the echo. It's really mysterious. It's very interesting to me because I think that's something that we're going to keep with us through the next 10 years of FFXIV. It seems like it's something that's intrinsic to your character and other characters for that matter. So I'm interested in that. Other question I would ask, have the Loperates kind of made the astrologian job a little bit obsolete? Because the Loperates have a pretty extensive knowledge of space and space travel. They have star charts. They have like extremely advanced technology of being able to survey space, obviously. So, doesn't that make what they're doing in Ishgard like pretty outdated and pretty obsolete and pointless now? That I feel like astrology kind of needs an update, like get updated with current events. Okay, so anyway, those are my questions. going through the questions that people have posted here so far. One person said that the story talks about going to newer places. Will new zones only be left to the next expansion? And I think, actually, no. I think that whatever the new Baja will be, whatever Endwalker's Baja content is going to be, that's obviously going to be a new zone. That's going to be a new way to explore something that they've discussed. I kind of have a feeling like the new zone that we'll get could be Corvos, because I feel like I remember them mentioning something about like Garlean's still there, and like that might be something that they could go into because it's like one zone. I wouldn't mind that. But I don't know. I'm just guessing. Thank you for the chance to ask questions. Could you please share both real world and fictional locations that inspired the Endwalker zones? Probably they'll go into this after the Endwalker with like what they did for Shadowbringers, the making of Shadowbringers, which is great. If you haven't seen it on YouTube, you should watch it. They'll probably do the same for Endwalker. I did ask I did ask OCP a question related to this when I interviewed him. You know, there is actually a fictional location that inspired one of the Endwalker zones, and that is the moon. The moon being a fictional location at all. So, yeah. So somebody asked if there's been any progress on revamping the duty roulette, and I thought that was interesting because they made a good suggestion about maybe revamping the alliance roulette to improve the rewards for that. If you get caught in something like wiping city, it's going to be absolutely horrible. Like, you definitely need to be compensated more. Well, I wouldn't say you should be compensated more depending on how many times your alliance wipes, because then people would abuse that. But currently it's a flat reward. I agree that should be changed. I do remember, I think it was last month, Yoshi P said that big changes would be coming to the main story roulette. He said that, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here it is. So he actually said that the main story quest roulette will change significantly after 6.0 at some point. And they were not going to be able to change the Guild Hests roulette. We will be able to talk about the direction after the 6.0 release, so I don't know if that's going to be in this upcoming live letter or on the next one, but that's good to know. That's in some way it's going to be revamped. I remember in the past he said that he wanted something like Trust to work for Main Story Roulette, but I don't know if that is actually what the change will be in the beginning. Can you detail your plans for character customization and graphics engine upgrades now that a new chapter is beginning in the game? Given your ambition for it to last another 10 years, I feel like this is something that absolutely has to be discussed in this live letter about the next 10 years of FFXIV. Like, we cannot have a discussion about this without talking about graphical upgrades and upgrades to the base system that's going to make it not show its age so badly in this next decade of play. Like, they're going to have to invest a lot into the game, and I don't know how, because every time that we need to change something, like we talk about trying to change something like the way inventory works or the way glamour works, people often refer to the spaghetti code or the technical debt that the game has inherited from Realm Reborn, and I don't know if that's something that they're going to be able to easily change, but it's something that with a 10-year plan we need to talk about and we need to look at, so I hope that is something that we get into in it. FF11 didn't get any graphic upgrades. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. I think we might. I feel like I remember they mentioned something about it a while ago. One person asked if there's any novel releases planned to go further into the stories of the ancients, and I love this. I really, really hope that this question gets to them and they consider it, because this is the only thing that would probably allow me to move on, is by actually not making me move on, because then I could just keep reading novels about the ancients and stuff. Like, this would help me emotionally, is what I'm saying, after all that I've seen. This would help a lot of us, I'm sure. Is there any possibility we'll learn more about some racial clans like Duskwights and Keeper of the Moon Mikote? That's a bold question, though, asking for Mikote lore, but I think that if we go to Corvos, we might get the Mikote lore. after all. We might get some Mikote lore after all. I really think that would be awesome. That's why, I mean, Corvos is where it's going to be. If it's not there, I don't know. Oh my God, this is such a good post. This question, can we get more role achievement mounts for healer jobs? White Mage Kuribu, what is Kuribu? Is Kuribu the lady angel from Shadowbringers trailer? Scholar, Moth, Butterfly. I would say Scholar like a book. Like I think WoW released a book, or they're thinking about releasing it. The book mount? Yeah, the book mount, the soaring spell tome. Yeah. Like that. What scholars, would you like that? I mean, y'all really like books.
Yes, just so.
Thought you might like something like that. I don't know. Or maybe scholars could just run really fast, and so fast that they actually start falling off the ground. Anything but like a triple triad mount card. That's a astrologian card instead. That would be so lame. So like anything other than that, I would be happy with. As for Sage, a mechanical horse-like construct in the style of the Garo horse. What? No. Where is this coming from? What? Look, for Sage, okay, for Sage mount, all you have to do is have all your new liths out like they normally are. And then, hold on. Okay. So have all the new liths out and be like, holding on them. So you got like your hand on one, another hand on the other one, and you got like your foot on one, like that. Like that. Yeah. Actually, not just for healers, everybody needs a job mount. My, for Reaper, my avatar could just like carry me in his arms. Like cradling me. That would be really nice. How does the team go about testing and maintaining combat job balance? So this is an actual question and not a request. I'm really interested in this. I think a lot of people are curious about it after the recent wave of job adjustments, wondering what are some of the factors and metrics that they're looking at when they make decisions to nerf or buff jobs. Right, like, it's just something that I've been curious about lately. Oh my God, this is a good suggestion. Could you add a feature similar to the furniture preview in housing, but for armor instead? Like, when they added furniture preview, I thought that they would add it to armor almost immediately, because I'm thinking how amazing that they have this technology that's so clear and easy to use, where you can just preview anything. Why can't we do the same thing for armors? But instead, you pretty much just have to use the what's the website? Eorzea collection. Good old Eorzea collection to check everything that you want. This is what I'm using instead until they bring the furniture, I mean the armor preview, like furniture preview. That's what we're using. Okay, yeah, I actually talked about Corvos a minute ago, as I think that's a very strong possibility for a place that we could go for our like adventuring forays, whatever our new version of Vajra will be for Endwalker. This person said that through Endwalker, we've heard a lot about Corvos and even find it's a birthplace of G'raha Tia. Will we ever have a chance to go to Corvos? Will G'raha ever sing Corvosi songs for us? Because, I remember this is true, the Encyclopedia Eorzea mentions he sings very well and enjoys singing songs passed down by his people, and he was a bard in Rotterborn. So, imagine G'raha Tia singing songs for you in Corvos, the Corvosi song. Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, did you know? The more you know. With a very firm position that there will not be any more new races added to the game after female Hrothgar, will you be considering adding more customization options for the races that we already have? Common examples of things players want is different facial body features, wrinkles, and other signs of aged characters, scale shapes and colors for Aura, half Elezen characteristics, and so on. Like, there's so much that they could do with character selection and character customization. I think they kind of hinted at that with the most recent event, the Halloween event, because with All Saints Wake, in the quest, there's 2 different NPCs that have like neon highlights in their hair, and it's a color that's not currently available to players. It's extremely vibrant neon color highlights, and I don't think that they would have shown that to the players unless they were considering adding some new kind of customization. Like, I mean, maybe, but that's usually not the way that they operate. They know what kind of desires they're stirring up in the community by showing off something like that. They know they're going to make all the players want something like that. So I definitely think it's possible that we could see more customization options. I'd like to see all raw faces that are not tied to the specific horns. I'd like to see you to be able to put more than one face paint on at a time, like maybe 2 or 3 at the same time. And not have tattoos like for Viera tied to a specific face. Be able to choose whatever tattoo you want. That's true for a lot of different races that have racial tattoos that you can use. So yeah, would love to see all that. That definitely needs to be talked about as well. If we're not getting new races, we need customization for the current races. To get to increase your likelihood, I think, of Yoshi P answering your question is to ask a question about Endwalker specifically and not make a request. Not like ask for something that everybody's curious about, but instead to just have a maybe a lore question or like a systems question or something like Yesterday I cried in a cooking cutscene because it had the same music as the Endwalker finale. Oh god. That's the real Endwalker question for Yoshi P. Like, when will I be okay? I think that's probably the question I would post in this thread. Can you let me know like a timeline as to when I'm gonna be alright?